Hello! Welcome back to Brenda's Books. Thank you so much for coming back to listen to more of Sara's War. If you would like to follow Brenda's Books online, I am on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Today we are on Chapter 32. Here we go. Chapter 32. The Real Reason. I lie awake inside my very warm, almost hot sleeping bag. Not that I can complain. I know this thing will save me in the winter. I glance over at Lexi. She's curled up on her side in silent sleep, along with 4 other women lined up next to her. I'm glad I'm not alone. I hate being alone. If people are with me while in country, I'll survive. I stare at the ceiling of our tent, waiting for it to twitch in the wind, but it doesn't. Everything outside is silent and still. Even the symphony of crickets seems to be sleeping. Blast, I hate the silence. Silence is as scary as the nighttime is terrifying. Breathe, Sara, I tell myself. Breathe. I close my eyes and bring Ryan to my memory, just like I always do when I can't sleep. Even before this fantasy of mine begins, I can tell something is different about it. Somehow it feels surreal, foggy. Despite this, I force myself to picture Ryan standing next to me in our old tiny kitchen. But it doesn't feel like he's with me anymore. He's just a picture in my head. Ah, it is so good to see you, Ryan. You too, honey, Ryan would say, and lean in for a kiss. You look like you had a big day. You can't imagine. North Korea attacked the main base, and now I have to go to Bridgetown to be on the front lines. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. That sounds terrifying. How are you holding up? Pretty well, I would say. We almost lost a sergeant today, but I got to him just in time. That's my baby, just like you always do. You are one incredible girl. This would make me want to hug him, and so I would. We still need more blood for him, though. I'll have to find people with type O negative blood, since there's only one person with his actual blood type. If she continues to donate, it will drain her completely. You always find a way. Then there's Jack. He likes me. So? I told him it wouldn't work out. Why won't it? Because I need to focus on being a doctor, I would say. I'm the only one this company has. Besides, he's the lieutenant colonel. There are way too many obstacles with that. You've never been one to let obstacles get in your way. What's the real reason? That's exactly what he asked me. So, what is it? You know what it is. I love you, and I can't love anybody else. Are you in love with Jack? No! Then what's the problem? Why are you worrying about this so much? I don't know. Is Jack different than other guys you've turned down? Of course he is. Ryan would smile one of his gentle smiles. It sounds like you don't know your own feelings for him, Sara. Why are you burying them? Because if I let him in, I might forget you. And I don't want to forget you. No one will ever be able to take your place. Of course no one can take my place, Ryan would say. I'm one of a kind. But maybe somebody else could make you happy. I want to see you happy, Sara. How strange. This is obviously not a conversation I would ever have with Ryan. Even my fantasies are messed up. Tears fill my eyes and spill onto my cheeks. I can't let Ryan go. I don't want to let him go. Come on, Sara, Ryan would say. But his face is no longer clear in my mind. Live your life. It's time to move on. But what if he dies just like you did? I can't go through that again. I just can't. I cover my face with my hands and start to shake with silent sobs. I wish I were numb. I don't want to feel anything anymore. I wake up the next morning gasping aloud. Criminy! That horrible alarm! I grab my phone from the cold tent floor and firmly press the button to turn off the dreadful noise. Next to me, Lexi moans groggily, and further down the line of sleeping bodies I see a head pop up. Sorry, I whisper. I didn't mean to wake you. The head plops back down on her pillow, and Lexi rolls over, facing away from me. I'm up earlier than usual. I have a lot to do before we take off for Bridgetown. I slide down to the bottom of my bed, where my personal things lay waiting. I stuff on my boots, grab my camping water bag, a towel, and my small bag of toiletries. Attempting to make as little noise as possible, I stand and slowly unzip the tent door. I step outside softly and zip it closed again. Daylight is creeping up over the mountains and onto the distant treetops. Birds are already singing their good morning tunes. I stop for a moment to take a deep breath of fresh air and welcome the cheerful chirping. Okay, back to work. I tiptoe around the corner of the tent to my sitting water jug. I brought it for shower and hand-washing purposes, just in case I needed it. And I'm glad I did, since there is no groundwater faucet here. Carefully, I tip the jug just enough for it to pour gently into my water bag. I cringe at how cold this water is. I assume most people will leave their water bags out in the sun all day and shower with them late in the afternoon, so their water will be warm. But there's no way I'm waiting 12 more hours to shower if I don't have to. I still feel blood residue sticking to me, even though it appears I got it all off. When my water bag is nearly full to the brim, I creep through the campfire setup from last night and into a cluster of oaks. Their nighttime eeriness is all but lost, maybe because the birds are singing to me, telling me it's a beautiful day. Finally, I make it to my self-made medical area and find Molly zonked out on a chair near Sam's tent. He's still hooked up to 2 IV stands just outside the door. Molly and Kate took turns caring for him during the night. By the looks of Molly, it was a long one. "Molly," I whisper. Molly jumps in her seat and nearly topples off of it. She stabilizes herself with the chair's arms, her eyes darting in every direction. "It's all right, it's just me." Coherence falls in place when she sees me. "You scared me," she huffs. "I'm sorry. How is it going here?" I ask, although I can already see on the heart monitor that Sam's heart is working too hard and is also too slow. "Not good, but he's fine, I guess. But we're out of batteries for the heart monitor." "I know, but we'll be fine. I understand there's power in the bomb shelter in Bridgetown. That's where our medical setup will be." "Good to know," Molly says through a huge yawn. "Hey, do you mind if I take a shower? I'll just be a few minutes, then I can come relieve you," I say. "A few minutes? I swear my water bag doesn't last 30 seconds, Molly complains. I grin at that. "But yeah, a few more minutes isn't going to kill me," Molly agrees. "There's already a tarp hung up from yesterday. She waves behind her, "over there somewhere." I glance in the direction she pointed. Yep, there it is. A small open spot with a large blue tarp hanging between 2 trees. "Perfect. I'll be right back," I promise. "Oh, and thanks for last night. I'm sure it was brutal." "That's an understatement," Molly says, her eyes half closed. I'm already cold on my short walk to the tarp. However, I'm happy to discover a movable metal pole set up as well. Excellent. I place the wide plastic hook of my water bag over the protruding nail at the top of the pole. Now that the bag is hung upside down, I watch the water surge through the synthetic tube and down to the nozzle, ready to be released. I grab my shampoo out of my toiletry bag and hang up my clothes and towel over the tarp. Bracing for the chill, I open the nozzle to release the waiting water. Ah, so cold! I shiver and wash as fast as I can. I still have about 1/4 of my water left when I finish. I'll save that for another time. As I snatch my towel off the tarp, I realize that someone else is here. He's talking with Molly and has a beautiful musical voice. What is Captain Barnett doing here? Molly's energy has suddenly perked up, about 90% higher than it had been just a minute ago. Her yawning has now turned into giggling. "I cannot believe that!" she exclaims in a sappy, sweet voice. Chris lets out a low chuckle. "I kid you not, it is true." Molly giggles at a very high pitch, just as a radio call comes through. "Captain, have you found Dr. Andrews?" It's Jack's voice. My heart leaps at the sound of it. "Yes, sir. She's The captain pauses. probably just noticing that my water is no longer running. She's just finishing a shower. How soon do you need her? When she's finished, Jack replies. The way my heart is racing, I might just start to sweat, even after such a freezing shower. Chris and Molly commence some sort of small talk about sunny or cloudy weather. I dress quickly and walk out from behind the tarp. Good morning, Doctor, Chris greets me. Good morning, Captain. Do you need me for something? Yes. There are a couple of men who have been injured. Colonel Haskins would like you to come put them back together. Well, how serious is it? I ask, automatically quickening my steps and ready to run. Not serious, the captain placates. But the colonel would like it to be taken care of right away. Of course. But why don't we bring them here? Then I'll have whatever I need, I suggest, gesturing to all the equipment around me. Well, 2 of them are handcuffed, and Colonel Haskins won't let them out of his sight, he explains. Oh, I say in surprise. And you know about the ridiculous protocol we have about having everyone medically cared for before we send them anywhere, says the captain. Yes, I'm aware of that, I say, regretfully remembering Mr. Evil. Shall we then? He asks, motioning with his arm for us to leave. Yes, sir. 1 moment, please. I take 2 steps over to the tent where we're keeping medical supplies. I duck inside and reach for the first aid kit near the door. Nurse Sanders, I say, standing up and facing Molly. Molly holds up a hand. I know, I've got it covered. Thank you. Molly nods, her eyes half closed again. Chris motions with his head to follow him, and we both trudge through the weeds and into the thick oaks. And that concludes Chapter 32. Next week will be Chapter 33, which is called Injured and Handcuffed. I hope you join me next Thursday for more of Sara's War. If you want to find out more about Brenda's books, you can visit brendasbooks.net. Until next time, take care.